You know, appropriations is great, but it's not the only thing. We can stop a lot of discharges right now by changing how we operate the lake. Congressman Mast, if you're not on his email list, I do recommend it. He's been debunking some of the facts, some of the arguments being made. There was a big campaign put out in West Palm Beach to basically say, don't take our drinking water. He put out an email last week that said that 859 billion gallons of water is permitted for the lake for use in the EAA. 392 billion gallons were discharged to the Treasure Coast, and 16.6 gallons were used for drinking water supply in the city of West Palm Beach. And so, you know, the big fight down there was you can't take our drinking water, but that's not what this is about. That's a red herring. So he's doing a really good job of putting out information on that. He also just put out another one today that said, you know what, if we get the lake down to 10.5 at the start of the dry season, we're not going to have this problem. In 2017, we got it down to 11 in July 1st, and everyone got the water to drink, everyone got their water for consumptive use permits, and we had no discharges to IRMA. And a lot of the IRMA discharges were from back pumping. So make no mistake about it, a lot of this comes down to operations. It's not just an infrastructure problem. So $200 million is great, but we have a human health problem right now, and we can fix it right now with operations. So, there is a webinar coming up in late April by the Corps to kind of address some of the questions we as communities throughout the watershed have raised about LOSM. And then they're probably going to have some meetings in May and August, some workshops to again try to further address our questions. So they have thanked us for the questions, and we've got to keep going until April 22nd. We greatly appreciate y'all doing that, and please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
What was the main thing they were asking for in the keys? What was people asking for?
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, one of the things I hadn't heard before was that their drinking water quality actually gets worse in the dry season because they don't get the flows. So drinking water is a big issue down there, but the guides, you know, they said where they maybe used to fish 100 spots, now all the guides are on 10 spots. And you know, the whole thing of SERP, the whole thing we're trying to do here is increase capacity throughout the system. This is all about capacity. And so we have unused capacity right now in the system that we're not using because our operational priorities are screwed up. And so if we use that operational capacity to send more water down to Florida Bay, send the proper amounts to the Caloosahatchee in the dry season, we're going to get less discharges and everybody's better off. So you know, they were, and the dam won't break. That's absolutely right. So the, you know, it's really, it's a lot about infrastructure, but it's a two-part problem. It's an operations and an infrastructure problem, and you can really argue that operations are the bigger issue.
Alex, just so that on the drinking water thing too, just so everybody knows, in 2007, when there was a serious drought and the lake dropped down below the spillways, they forward pumped the water. They can pump that water. So they pumped it, and it was at 7.5 or 8 feet at one point, and they were still pumping water out. So that's a red herring.
Interesting. Yeah, a lot of concern from the guys. You know, there were guys, the Florida Keys Fishing Guides Association showed up, and they were really, really great. And you know, they talked a lot about the decline in the fishery, and you know, the decline in the frequency, the size, and the diversity of species. And you know, it's really just about, I mean, it's not all about freshwater flows. There's other issues too, of course, but you know, the main difference is they're just not seeing a lot coming out of Flamingo.
I would like to just say that what Beth said about prevention being the most important thing is very important because we don't have and will never have enough reservoirs to clean the water for it to be able to go quickly enough down, south to the Everglades and Florida Bay and other places that need it. We need to make sure that we're
Are there other members of our member organizations that have announcements?
No, I have a question.
Okay.
I'd like to direct it to Jackie. Jackie, congratulations again on your appointment. Can you give us an update as to any trend as far as putting a stake in the ground regarding Sunbreak Farms? As far as them giving them permitting to put bio waste on their land?
I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
If you'd like me to look into that, I'm happy to.
Maybe after the meeting.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I was just focused on getting through that.
Okay.
All right, members of the public, please stand up.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, Saturday, 1 o'clock, Salerno Road, Wolf Technology Center, Dr. Brand and Edie Witter, and nobody mentioned that it's the Martin County Conservation Alliance that's putting this on. The Wolf Technology Center at the college, IRSC.
Go ahead.
Is anybody keeping track of the microcystin levels in Lake Okeechobee, even through these discharges, even though we're not seeing green? We know it's out there, but we're not seeing
It's
it
a really hard
visually.
question. I mean, there's some of it that's in the legacy solids at the
Yeah,
bottom.
I
and
get
some
that,
of it's
but if I know where it is,
Right.
and we know it's there, but is anybody keeping track of it so
Program
that
does
it's?
have a sailboat that is theoretically keeping track of that.
Hi, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Hillary Davis, and I'm the new representative from the Sailing Center. We really appreciate all of you and your work.
Thank you.
My name is Gary Smith. I'm from Port St. Lucie, and I'm the founder of People Serious About Litter. And I want to share with you that the two Rotary clubs in Port St. Lucie, along with the sponsorship of the city of Port St. Lucie, are sponsoring a litter symposium. It's free. It's at the Civic Center, and you shouldn't forget the date. It's Pearl Harbor Day, December the 7th, 2019. I hope as time goes on, you'll learn more about it, and I really am impressed that perhaps I am an applicant to become a member of your organization.
As we speak. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I rattle with everybody. We have a lot of people here who have a lot of knowledge of the activities that are going on. I get it bits and pieces through the news media, but I'm curious, when we have a president coming to see Lake O, I haven't heard anybody mention it, and I'm not trying to be political whatsoever, I'm neutral, totally. But I'd like if somebody has some little insight. I know Mark Perry was in the newspaper saying his organization, he's gonna be close to it. Has anybody had any comments or knows what's going on? I know they try and keep it sometimes a big secret, but does anybody have some information
You want to
on
answer that question?
I can give you the little bit that I know. The White House is being very secretive. It's a small group of 10 people, 3 people from the Army Corps, both senators, the governor, and the president. That's it. There'll be an annex section down the street. They haven't told us that location. This will probably release tomorrow morning, where the Army Corps will have set up. For anybody else to come, the media will be on that side. Elected officials, advocates like yourselves will be in another section. When the president leaves, then everybody will come back down and talk with the group down there about the president. The president's coming in, out, and then once he leaves, then everybody will come back to the annex section.
Was it Canal Point?
Canal Point. That's a very broad term, but it's gonna be a couple miles. We don't know exactly where they're gonna do it yet, and we're still waiting on times. They haven't told us anything. So.
Will Senator Rubio be coming to the annex section?
Yeah, he'll be the president and then come back down.
Yep.
Wherever that's gonna be, I don't know.
Understood.
Anybody else? Yes, you do.
I'm Lisa Beagle. I'm new to this meeting, so I thought I'd show up and kind of just get involved and meet all of you. I'm the vice chair for the Treasure Coast Surfrider chapter here.
Awesome. All right.
It's a pro card at me. I will reach out. I'm just kind of getting up and started. I took the vice chair position in the spring.
What organization? I'm sorry.
It's the Surfrider Foundation.
Oh, Surfrider,
Yeah,
okay.
so currently I'm working on building an event at our Stewart Beach for May 18th, where we're going to be joining hands to protest offshore drilling. We are an organization that protects the beach, the ocean, and the waves kind of community. So we are an organization that protects the beach, the waves, and the ocean community. We're a non-for-profit, we're a national organization. We have 12 chapters in the state of Florida. In the state of Florida alone, we have a reach of about 500,000 people. So we want to join the effort here. We want to do whatever we can. I joined Treasure Coast Surfrider chapter 3 years ago. It kind of sat dormant for a little while, and I decided to step into the vice chair position and just steamroll it forward. So currently I'm building an EC, like an executive committee of strong advocates for the community. If anybody wants to reach out to me and take a secretarial position, we have that open. We have a volunteer coordinator position open. We also have a chair position that could come open. So get involved. Do what you can if you can. But basically, we do have a lot of, we want to partner. If you have an event and you want us there and you want our presence there and you want our reach there, we are glad to do whatever we can. Our calendar is wide open. Yes.
You are a member of the Rivers Coalition. Only
Yes, I am.
Benjamin does. Okay, well then we need a new rep.
I'll be there.
Okay, I need your information.
Okay. And then we also have something really kind of cool that we've been working on. It's a cigarette board. And we had a local surfer that designed it for us. It's translucent. And we went out and did a couple beach cleanups and we filled it with cigarettes and it's beautiful. It came out awesome. So if somebody like somebody that's campaigning against litter wants to have our board showcased at an event, we'd love to do that. We just adopted the Jensen Beach Turtle Beach, so we want to coordinate with local organizations if we want to pitch in and do a big beach cleanup together. Any kind of events, anything like that, just pass them my way and reach out to me.